What's up, everybody, and welcome to Short Sport bonus content.
BoneCon!
BoneCon, that's right. So, um, we decided that we were going to fill out some playoff brackets for hockey since we're doing all this hockey content right now. We figured it would be kind of fun to fill out hockey brackets. So, Mac, have you ever filled out a bracket for sports before?
March Madness brackets.
March
And
Madness, okay,
Jeopardy.
and Jeopardy, okay. So then you at least you have some familiarity with the brackets.
Yes.
Now, the hockey brackets are a little different this year because since everything was kind of sectioned off into divisions and everyone stayed in their divisions, and the first two rounds of playoffs are staying in your own divisions, we're having this kind of it's a little different. Actually, I read this today. It was kind of interesting that whenever you win your conference in hockey, there's always this big debate of, do you touch the conference championship trophy or not? Is it bad luck or is it good luck? Like, there's this big thing. So I'll tell you, of course, the Penguin story. The first year that we made it to the finals with Sidney Crosby and company, he did not touch the conference final trophy, and we lost to the Detroit Red Wings. So the next year, he touched the conference trophy, and we beat the Red Wings. We played the Red Wings back to back. That was two really cool years. So the next time we made it to the finals, he touched the trophy, and then we won. And then same thing for the year after that. Again, he touched the trophy and we won. So there's always a lot of debate. Is it a lot of hockey players will be like, I don't want to touch that trophy because that's not the trophy that we want. That's not the goal. The goal was the Stanley Cup. So nice trophy. I'm going to take my picture with it, but I'm not going to, it's all right. We're not touching this one because we want the other one. It's kind of always the thought process behind it. But, it seems to have worked well for the Penguins, at least the past few times that we've won the cup. So, it leads to, we'll have to have a discussion about sports and superstitions sometime because
Please, yes.
Hockey players are very superstitious. Hockey fans, I'll tell you about superstitions sometime. We'll definitely have to dive into that someday. It's a good one. So, but let's jump in to our playoff brackets. So, we have 4 teams from each division. So let's start with the Scotia North Division. So I want to know, what's your thought process behind picking teams? Who do you think? So we have Toronto and Montreal, number 1 and number 4 seed from that division. What do you know about these two teams? Do you know anything about these two teams?
Canadian.
Very true. All these teams in this division are Canadian because the Canadian teams were all grouped together this year due to COVID restrictions. Yeah, fun stuff. We didn't get to see much Canadian teams this year because they all played each other. So we actually had, I can't look at that. Oh, that's because my phone's on the floor. I saw a tweet this morning that showed us the statistics on who was going to win the cup this year and things like that, and showed us like a really good graph on they would update it continually throughout the season on who was going to win. In here, I'm going to share my screen for a second here and I'll show you it. I know it's going to mess up our graphic, but that's fine. It's fine. So I can show you this graphic real quick just to give you some insight before we get started making our picks here.
That's incredible.
So here we have all of our teams that made the playoffs. You can see the nice big circle here. Everyone has 100% chance of making it to the first round because everybody's in. Yay! So we see as we go down further, these numbers go down for chances to make it to the second round, the third round, the fourth round, and then winning the cup. So, man, you see the Predators here. They don't even get a percentage when they get down here. Neither do the Canadians. Goodness gracious, that's like a sliver. Actually, I think the Jets have even a smaller sliver. Are they really in the playoffs right now? Oh my goodness, I don't even think they were. Yeah. So this is a nice little graph here that shows us what their chances are of winning the cup. We see that they actually give the Toronto Maple Leafs the biggest chance of winning the cup at 18.1%, which I don't know how I feel about that. But hey, sure. I mean, if this is the year that the Leafs are going to take it all, I mean, it would be a year. We have next up, we have the Colorado Avalanche, who were the front runners from the beginning of the season at 15.9%. With the Panthers a bit behind at 10.4%. We kind of have a few people like trailing off behind there. We've got the Vegas Golden Knights at 9.5, the Capitals here at 9, Penguins at 8.3, and then a few people at 5 and lower. Oh, the Canes at 7.7. We just had a nice talk about them tonight.
We did.
So this is our nice graph. So let's get back to our our charts here. So we like charts and graphs here.
We do. I guess
We do. We do. So let's pick our first teams. I think I'm not going to tell you who. We're just going to go, and then you pick how many games you think the series will go. So each team has to win 4 games to move on to the next series. So it's best of 7. So
for each round?
For each round, you have to win
how
4
long
games.
do playoffs go
So
for?
you have to win 16 games to win the Stanley Cup. So it's not like a little thing here. This is pretty big, which is nice because you sometimes see these games going, teams win 3-3 and you see it going to 7 games. And I mean, yeah, this year, now typically playoffs are over by the first or second week of June. Like totally, someone's already lifted the cup by that point in time. We're only going to be in the second round of the playoffs this year. Which is crazy because I'm usually crying because there's no hockey on my birthday. Normally my birthday falls in between like the conference finals and the Stanley Cup finals, like in that weird gap every year. This year my birthday is going to fall like in the weird gap of between the first and second round. And I'm like, "What? I can't win here." I can't win. Maybe some year I'll get some hockey. I did have a playoff game for the Penguins on my birthday one year. I'm a couple years ago, which was nice. But not often do I get, birthday hockey. So that's okay. So let's go with this first 2 teams, the Montreal Leafs, the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Montreal Canadiens. I can word good. And how many games we're going to go to. So you pick the team you think is going to win, and then you click on the number of games you think it's going to be. And then you click on the little arrow to go up. So.
Oh, I love a little hockey puck.
I do too. It's so cute. I like this. I like this a lot. That's really fun. So then we have the Edmonton Oilers and the Winnipeg Jets. The Edmonton Oilers, I know we discussed, we're going to have a podcast where we discuss Connor McDavid versus Sidney Crosby coming out soon. Connor McDavid plays for the Edmonton Oilers. We were discussing how many points he got this season, how he was on quite a tear. 100 points in 50, I believe it was 52 games he did it in this year. Really impressive. Even for playing against this all Canadian team, like division and shortened season. That's pretty impressive. It's a pretty good feat. So, all right. Okay. So we have our 2 teams, and then we see them go into the next little bracket here.
Oh, this is so fun.
See? It is fun. And then we can pick what team's going to go there. And we don't pick how many games it goes to yet, because I think we might get a chance to alter that later if we mess up to get more points. But that's so okay. Kind. But it is very nice though. We can fix our screw ups later. We might come back in 2 weeks and be like, well, we got them all wrong in the first round, but that's okay. So we might be able to pick how many games later. That'd be cool. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't read the rules. I'm just like, let's go pick some games. So let's move over to the East Division. Mm-hmm. So we have the number 1 seeded Pittsburgh Penguins versus the number 4 seeded New York Islanders. Now, the East Division this year, everyone was just saying how it was absolutely off the walls, bonkers. The East Division was so close this year in points that there were other divisions that their 4th place people never would have even made it in our division because of how many points we had, our teams. This is so hard to pick which team is going to win for this division, just because of how good all 4 teams really are. Though I will say this, I think the Pittsburgh Islanders series is going to be really good. also the Washington-Boston series is going to be phenomenal because Boston and Washington are just two hard-hitting teams. And for those two to be playing each other in the playoffs, I feel like that is going to be some intense hockey. And I'm very excited to watch those games. So, first game is tomorrow night as of us recording this, and I am pumped. So, I really don't know who to pick between Washington and Boston, though. I know who I want to win, but I'm trying to do this who I think is going to win. Goodness gracious, though. These are some difficult games. These are some difficult ones. But let's move on. Did you make your picks for those ones? You good? All right, you ready to move on? Let's move on to Honda West Division. I got so confused this year because they started doing these like sponsored divisions. It's a little weird for me, but that's okay. All right, so we have Colorado Avalanche, the President's Trophy winners. So the President's Trophy is awarded to the team who gets the most points in a season. Colorado Avalanche won that this year. Yay! I love the Avs.
Shout out!
So versus the St. Louis Blues. The St. Louis Blues, well, we talked about this in our first episode, just won the cup not too long ago with that sweet little girl Layla in the stands in Boston. So I don't think it's going to be any surprise who I'm picking in that one, though. Then we have the Vegas Golden Knights, who I think were right behind the Colorado Avs for the President's Trophy. I think they were second, actually. They actually may have been tied, but I think due to tiebreaker rules, I think the Avs actually won. Versus the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota Wild, Bill Guerin is the GM up there. Fantastic. Fantastic guy. He used to play for the Penguins. I know I posted a picture a couple days ago of me sitting in the middle of the road eating lunch with a friend of mine in front of the half torn down Civic Arena. That was the day of Mary Lemieux's statue unveiling. We were there taking pictures, and Bill Guerin walked up behind us and was like, "Hey, how do I get into this?" And we're like, here, let's move the gate for you and you can go in. And yeah, it was pretty funny. Always a nice down to earth guy, Billy G was, and he's doing some good work up in Minnesota. So yeah, but so I'm gonna cheat and tell you who I picked for the first round. So I definitely picked Colorado to win and Vegas to win. I don't know who I can pick between those two to win the second round, though. That hurts my soul deep inside. Oh goodness. If those two play each other, there are certain teams when they play each other, it hurts me to watch. Those ones are going to hurt me to watch if it ends up being those two. I don't know if I'm going to do it because Vegas Golden Knights have my favorite goaltender of the current era in Marc-Andre Fleury, who also used to play for the Penguins, and I've met multiple times, and he is like the sweetest guy on earth. And that's going to be a rough series for me to watch if it comes down to those two teams. I know that much. But let's move over to the Central Division then, because that'll be happier over there, right? Because we have the Carolina Hurricanes versus the Nashville Predators. Carolina Hurricanes, their coach Rod Brind'Amour this year is a likely shoo-in for the Jack Adams Award, which is Coach of the Year, which is super cool. Rod Brind'Amour was a player not that long ago, played for the Canes, and has been a fantastic coach for them. Super excited. Predators had a nice run way up at the top for a while. It's good to see that they're still hanging in there. I didn't get to watch many of their games this season just due to how they had the schedule set up with all the interdivisional play this year. But yeah, they had a lot of bigger name players a few years ago that most have been traded away, but they're still a very good team with Forsberg and some young guys. I think Forsberg is still there. I don't know. He may have gotten traded by now. Again, this season has been very rough for me watching these games just because of all the interdivisional play. I've heard that from a few people too, which is just sad. So, and then we have the battle for Florida, which I think is kind of exciting, honestly. For how many people said, hockey is not for the South. Let's look at this. We have Carolina, Florida, and Tampa Bay all 1, 2, and 3 in this division. How cool is that? Also, I just want to point out last year, Tampa Bay and Dallas were the Stanley Cup Finals. There's two South teams. You don't get too much more South than that.
No.
I think hockey in the South is fantastic, and having these three teams make the playoffs this year and this kind of setup is awesome.
Mhm.
But this Tampa Bay versus the Panthers, I know they just had a few games that got kind of nasty towards the end of the season there. This should be a fantastic series, and it is just great for the state of Florida for their hockey program. Uh, I am a huge Tampa Bay Lightning fan, but man, I am a Panthers fan too, and that is a rough one. I think that's going to be a good series. I think that's going to be a very good series. Ooh, okay. So hey, now this is where it lets us pick more games. Cool,
Yay!
cool. What's this? Oh, so did it bring this little pop-up screen to you?
Mhm.
Cool.
Yep.
So this is pick your Stanley Cup champion. So based on your selections, the 3 and 4 seed have yet to be determined. Dun, dun, dun. This is fun. So this is because of just how we have the playoffs this year. So again, the first 2 rounds are played in your division. You have the 1 and 4 seed, then the 2 and 3 seed. Whoever wins those two gets seeded together and play. Then you have one team from each division. You're all then reseeded by, I think it's points first. Then if there's a tiebreaker, maybe it's games played. I believe it is with how we are so happy to have hockey this season. But man, oh man, some of the rules this year have been just fun to work with. But so I see I have some selections to make here due to seeding.
Woohoo!
Which looks like I think that's how that works. Nope. I don't think make your seed 4 section. I don't know if that's how that works, but I think that's how it works. I think that is how it works. Okay, I think I figured this out. Oh man, you know what? That would make for one heck of a final if it did. Oh goodness. What have I done? Oh no. Oh, what did I do?
What did you do?
What did I do? Mm.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no, what did I do? And oh, excuse me. Sorry. I'm going to take a sip of my Snapple apple because I am clutching my pearls. Goodness gracious.
Hockey. Sports.
So we're going to share our picks here in a minute.
Okay.
As soon as I finish this, because you do need to enter the total number of goals scored in the Stanley Cup Final Series for all games, which is always difficult because you're like, man, I hope they score a ton of goals, but also I want them to be close nail biter of games. I'm gonna
I don't know what's overshooting it or undershooting it is my issue.
So, okay, and this is how I always see it. You can have games that are literally, if every game finished 3-2 and you have 7 games in that series, 7 times 5, that's 35 goals right there. Easy.
Oh, wow.
Like, I mean, and that's just if that's a 3-2 game every game. But that's also if it goes 7 games. So you could have anywhere from literally 7 goals, I mean, you could have 4 goals if, one team wins it in 4 games and only gets 1 goal per game. You could have a minimum of 4 goals. I mean, 35 plus. I mean, 5 goals in a game between both teams is nothing. Especially if both teams are high scoring teams. There are times where you see defense winning Stanley Cups because they are tight, low scoring games. And then you see some games that will be huge blowouts. So they'll be 7-2, They could be very, that's always the hardest part is picking how many goals could be scored. Now I'm going to up my number now. I'm going to go to that number instead. I've read the official rules. And I'm going to hit the submit button. It's funny because it's like you have until 7:14 tomorrow to edit your picks. That is such a specific time.
It
Which is
really
funny because I think the game starts tomorrow. The first game of the playoffs starts tomorrow at 7:15.
Oh.
As the Capitals versus the Bruins, which is why I was like, oh my gosh, we need to do our brackets tonight. All right. I'm hitting the submit button. I have saved my picks. And I'm scared.
I am too.
All right. So, I'm going to show you my bracket now. I will share my screen first. Okay. Are you ready? Do you have your bracket saved? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, I'm going to share my screen. So, I have picked here Toronto and Edmonton, and then Toronto to go in the first bracket, and then the Penguins and Bruins, and then Penguins to go. And then down here, Colorado and Vegas, which is why I said if Colorado and Vegas go, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be Heart Attack Central. But that's not even the worst thing I did to myself in this bracket. Oh, just you wait and see.
Oh, no.
Then there is Carolina and Tampa Bay Lightning. And then I picked Carolina to win and go on. So now I got to click here to go here. And this is what I did to myself. Vegas plays Toronto and Vegas goes on. And we play Carolina and then we go on. And then we play Vegas in the finals. What did I do to myself? Oh my gosh. I hate it so much. I don't know if that would really happen. I don't think I could watch hockey. I think I would not be able to. I don't think I could. It would hurt too much. It would hurt me deep in my soul. So that is what I have. I am going to back out of this and go back to... Oh, wait, I'm going to stop sharing my screen before I go back to the dashboard. Finish bracket. We're done here. We're done. And now I'm ready to see yours.
All right. Let's see. I don't know how to share my screen.
So there's a button down at the bottom that says share next to your camera mic button.
I had something covering it.
That's probably why.
Okay, share screen.
Oh, look, there's my Snapple bottle. There you go.
Now, our bracket looks very similar.
It really does. Look at that. It's very close, except you have Edmonton instead of Toronto. That's amazing.
This what is his name? McDaniel? Was that his name? That kid?
McDavid. Connor McDavid.
Shoot, I knew it was...
You're so close. That's okay. That's not until next week you have to know his name. It's fine.
Oh thank God.
Perfect.
First 3 letters. I was like, yeah, I'll throw him in. I think Gretzky played for the Oilers.
He did. He played for the Oilers, the Rangers, the LA Kings.
Yeah. So
they didn't make the playoffs this year. It's sad.
I should take the jersey off. So yeah, I chose the Oilers for that because of that guy, and then the Penguins because I live in Pennsylvania and I like penguins. And then down here, so there was on Jeopardy, there was a guy named James Holzhauer. Yep. And on his signature, whenever he was on, he made a reference to that team.
The Golden Knights?
The Golden Knights in his signature. And
that's awesome.
I'll choose them then. And then for this one, that story from before. Yep. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. I love it. All right. So who do you have going on to the finals then?
I have... I have a little thingy. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
So it's going to be that debate, that big David versus Crosby in real time.
I love it. I love it because that would be such a huge story too. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I'm in my journalism mind right now.
I love it. I love it so much.
How big of a game.
Nice. That would be fantastic.
And yeah, then shout out to Pennsylvania once again, and we're gonna
Shout
win.
out to Pennsylvania. There was a story that was just recently on The Athletic about Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin when they were in the Tampa Bay visitors locker room. So them playing Tampa Bay in the conference finals just really brings back some memories. Or well, it's not the conference finals this year. I don't even know what they're calling it, but yeah. But it was a really sweet, touching story on how good of friends those two truly are, and it made me cry so much. It's gonna make me cry just thinking about it. It's so sweet. And actually, there was a really sweet picture, and I believe it was on Twitter. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Today of the two of them during practice, and it was just like you have these big name players that should that are stars, just absolute like mega huge players that are just these great guys, and then here it is. It's great, and you hope that they're as close as they seem, and then you see pictures like this and you read articles like that, and it's just like, yeah, they are. Look at them.
Oh, look at them.
This picture, and I love it because they always call them the two-headed monster when they're on the ice together, so they called it the two-headed hug monster.
Oh, that's so cute.
I was just like, this is just the sweetest thing I've ever seen. And just like I said, that article was probably one of the nicer ones I've read. There's been a lot of great articles that I've read this season on The Athletic. The Players Tribune, another one. I know I've talked about it a lot. Such a great site for nice stories and things like that. But it's just nice to see two guys like that actually act like that in day-to-day stuff. So it's pretty awesome. All right. Well,
Woohoo.
I think that wraps it up for our little our bone gone.
Our bone gone.
So check out our next episode. We're going to be having an episode of Mac Attack coming out soon. We recorded the first half of it tonight, and we're going to be recording the second half of it next week, where we teach Makenna all about hockey and tell her a whole bunch of cool, fun stories. And we have that big debate of Connor McDavid versus Sidney Crosby. It's going to be a blast. I'm very excited for that one. So
learn his name.
You'll learn his name before next week. We've got until next week. Until then, you can find me here and on Twitter at Ambelina and our magical neighborhood, MGK Neighborhood on Twitter. And Makenna, where can they find you?
You find me on Twitter at PotterPants212, and I added a little quick link in my bio where all of my things are, so I don't have to try and list them all off whenever.
That's a fantastic idea. I really need to do that too for like everything. So until next time, keep on playing.